In this video, I will present how Monitoring Studio, a configuration module developed by Sentry software, can take BMC TrueSight off the beaten tracks and reach new territories. Before presenting Monitoring Studio, it is important to understand what is natively covered by BMC TrueSight Operations Management and what is not. As we can see on this slide, TrueSight Operations Management comes with pre-built knowledge modules for servers, virtual servers, databases, and middleware. Standard applications such as Exchange and SAP are covered with BMC pre-built modules. To cover any other technology or application, you can rely on Monitoring Studio. Using Monitoring Studio is really easy. It can be installed as any regular module for TrueSight Operations Management and can be configured either through CMA or Patrol Classic. In a few clicks, and thanks to intelligent wizards, we can define what needs to be monitored. We can, for example, ask Monitoring Studio to monitor processes, files, file systems, and Windows performance counters. We can leverage standard protocols like SNMP, WebM, WMI, SSH, JMX, or HTTP. We can run commands and scripts and analyze their output, query web services, execute SQL queries, search for specific strings, or extract numeric values. Here is a typical architecture of Monitoring Studio's implementation. Monitoring Studio is installed on the same machine where the Patrol agent is installed. Once the appropriate monitors are configured, Monitoring Studio collects the required statuses and metrics that will be exposed to BMC TrueSight Operations Management. Now that you know a little bit more about Monitoring Studio, let's see how it can take BMC TrueSight off the beaten tracks with some real-life examples. My examples today will show how to use Monitoring Studio to monitor Microsoft Lync Server 2013, recycle Nagios plugins, perform high-frequency monitoring, monitor the server room, monitor the weather. Let's start with Microsoft Lync. Microsoft Lync provides instant messaging, audio and visual calls, online meetings, availability information, and sharing capabilities. Many organizations use it. This diagram makes it quite obvious that the Lync architecture is really complex. Some sysadmins may even say that it is a real nightmare, and users keep complaining about it. Hence, the importance to monitor every part of it: services, performance monitors, processes, and event logs for every single element shown in this diagram. Unfortunately, there is no solution available out of the box with BMC TrueSight Operations Management to monitor Lync. Fortunately, Sentry software developed a configuration template for Monitoring Studio that does just that: monitoring Microsoft Lync. This template includes the monitoring of 12 processes, 28 critical services, 74 event sources, and 183 performance counters. The deployment of this monitoring template is really easy. You just have to download the template from the Sentry website and import it into BMC Patrol Agent. After specifying the installation directory of Microsoft Lync, Monitoring Studio will automatically create the monitored elements in the TrueSight console. Here is a quick overview of what it looks like in BMC TrueSight Operations Management. We can see the hierarchical organization of the monitors, the events associated to Lync, and its various performance metrics, just like you would expect a standard application to be monitored. Microsoft Lync 2013 is just one example of the monitoring templates currently available for download on the Sentry Software's website. Others are available, and many more are planned to be created to cover any new or older technology. We also encourage our users to share their configurations on BMC communities, either via the Sentry or TrueSight Operations Management group. My second example is how we can use Monitoring Studio to recycle Nagios plugins. Nagios is sometimes considered as a good option to monitor the IT infrastructure. Well, mainly because it's free. Thousands of plugins are indeed available to monitor everything: backup, cloud, web servers, and many more. However, this solution is more and more criticized, and some experts have even recommended stopping using Nagios. Now that you want to migrate to TrueSight Operations Management, you wonder if you have to throw away all these plugins you've been using for years. No, don't throw them away, but recycle them with Monitoring Studio. Nagios plugins are simply scripts to be executed. These scripts can be executed by Monitoring Studio, either locally or remotely through SSH. The information collected will then be displayed into TrueSight. Let's take the example of the current load plugin. To execute this script, we can rely on the command line analysis feature available in Monitoring Studio. This feature allows to run a specific command and analyze its output. The procedure is quite simple. After specifying the credentials to be used to run the command, we just have to specify the command line to be executed and indicate what information should be searched for. In our example, the numeric value to be searched is located after the string load average. We can repeat this procedure for all Nagios plugins and get that result in BMC Patrol or BMC TrueSight Operations Management. So migrating from Nagios has never been easier. Our next example is high-frequency monitoring for high-frequency trading. High-frequency trading is an automated trading platform used by banks to transact a large number of orders at extremely high speeds. To react quickly to market changes, these banks need to be faster than competition. To achieve that, they rely on high-speed servers. We could even say hyperspeed servers. We are talking about specifically designed servers with the fastest processors that are overclocked to run even faster. Those server components are under hard pressure and need to be monitored by the second. In our example, we configured Monitoring Studio to run an IPMI command every second and extract the temperature information. Because Monitoring Studio connects to the IPMI chip, there's no impact on the server. This is called out-of-band monitoring. No CPU cycle is therefore wasted on a non-productive task. So, BMC TrueSight Operations with Monitoring Studio is the appropriate solution for this type of extreme monitoring. Funnily, the information displayed in the BMC console looks quite similar to a trader's screen. We saw how to monitor the temperature of a server. Let's see how to monitor the entire server room with Monitoring Studio. And when we say server room, we mean the actual room. There are many things that are worth monitoring in the server room: temperature sensors, humidity, the presence of smoke, the air conditioning system, etc. To obtain this critical information, we can monitor specific devices from specific manufacturers. Again, there's no out-of-the-box monitoring solution for this type of devices. So in our example, we configured Monitoring Studio to monitor Raritan Intelligent Rack PDUs and Socomec UPS. To monitor our PDUs, we relied on the SNMP polling feature available in Monitoring Studio. This feature allows to poll an SNMP agent and retrieve the values of a given OID or the values of an SNMP table. In our example, we retrieved the temperature of the PDU and we monitored the status of each powered system with its name and power consumption. As for the UPS, we queried a URL to obtain XML results from which we could extract the required values, like the voltages and temperatures of the battery, the overall power consumption, and the device efficiency. Here is how our monitoring configuration can be graphically represented. Monitoring Studio connects to the PDUs through SNMP and to the UPS through HTTP to collect temperature and voltage information and expose data into TrueSight. And here is a quick overview of how our monitoring configuration looks like in BMC TrueSight Operations Management. So, we monitored the temperature of the server room, but what about the temperature outside? Why TrueSight Operations Management could not offer the same service as the average free app for smartphones? So, it's now time to see how to monitor the weather with Monitoring Studio. You may think this is a crazy idea, but monitoring the weather is important since it has an impact on everything: air conditioning, electricity supply, time duration, etc. So how do we do that? The procedure is quite simple. We just have to leverage a public web service, in our example, global weather, and extract the temperature values and other relevant metrics. Once the configuration is complete, the temperature information is displayed in BMC TrueSight, as well as the wind speed, the humidity, and much more information. In our example, we went even a step further and included the monitoring of the overall Earth seismic activity. Now the fun part will be when BMC TrueSight will correlate an application failure with bad weather. To sum things up, this is what we achieved in this session. We monitored custom applications. We monitored a commercial application with no out-of-the-box KM. We recycled existing scripts, like Nagios plugins. We achieved some extreme monitoring. We monitored specific devices in the server room. We even monitored the weather. I hope that these monitoring examples helped you realize the potential of Monitoring Studio. Let me list some key benefits. Monitoring Studio helps increase uptime by detecting problems for any application or device that is not currently covered. Reduce IT costs, since no custom development is required and no maintenance cost is induced. Integration is easy. Increase business value, since it allows to extract metrics from business applications for further analysis. So, that was quite a ride off the beaten tracks. Thank you again for attending the session. You can find more information about our solution on our website. Please also follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and BMC communities.